What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. Yeah. What's good? This is your boy Tone, DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the energy. Y'all know where my body be. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We got a lot to get into. We got some things to talk about. We got some things to discuss, people. But again, smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed, especially if you're new to the channel, if you're new to the show, if you're new to me. Smash the like button. Get engaged, right? Make sure you're here for a long time. Make sure you guys are here, not just for a good time. Kick your feet up. It's a Sunday evening. Some of you guys probably got work tomorrow. Depending on what you do, you may be working right now, or you may be working tonight, or maybe you was working earlier. You know what I'm saying? Hope you guys had a good Sunday. Some of y'all went to church. Some of y'all took it easy, whatever it may be, whatever your device is, whatever it is you do. Hope you guys had a good day so far. And the Philadelphia Eagles just continue to make it that much more interesting. Now, where do I begin? Let's start with the obvious news. Let's start there. Your Philadelphia Eagles made a move that we didn't really anticipate. I didn't anticipate this. This is the last move I thought they were making. And again, it has nothing to do with the player, right? It's more so about the position. The Philadelphia Eagles decided to make a trade for Texans wide receiver John Metchie III. Now, we're all pretty familiar with John Metchie's story. John Metchie III is somebody who's had a trying start to his NFL career. For starters, John Metchie tore his ACL in the 2021 SEC championship game. So he wasn't able to participate in the 2022 NFL Combine, hence why he doesn't necessarily have an official 40-yard dash time recorded. He couldn't do his pro day. He couldn't do the Combine or anything. You know, prior to going to college, his 40-yard dash was like a 4.8, and some people surmised and made an educated guess that his his 40-yard dash would probably hang around a 4.5 entering the NFL. That's what some evaluators and some analysts projected for him prior to the combine. But again, he tore his ACL in the SEC championship game in 2021, wasn't able to participate. And then on top of that, prior to his rookie season beginning, he was diagnosed with acute promyelocytic leukemia. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Acute promyelocytic leukemia. And he was forced to miss his entire 2022 rookie season. And I'm not saying this for any other reason but to display and share that this brother has been through a lot in his very young NFL career. And he's somebody who's shown resilience. He's somebody who's shown triumph in the face of trying circumstances. He's somebody you root for, right? John Metchie III is somebody who's very easy to root for. I want to make that very clear. So again, I bring all this up not for any other reason but to just show how resilient the brother is, how resilient John Metchie III is, right? And it set him back. It set him back in his NFL career. Missed the whole rookie season, nonetheless. And when you think about what he's done in his career so far, it's not much. He hasn't really been as dominant as some people thought he would be. Again, he was drafted in the second round. John Metchie III was drafted in the second round, played with Devontae Smith. Him and Devontae Smith are very good friends. If you guys remember, Devontae Smith was wearing a graphic tee designed to show love and reverence for John Metchie III as he battled his cancer diagnosis. But he beat it, and he was cleared to go in 2023. In the 2023, John Metchie played in 16 games. He accumulated 30 targets, 16 catches, 158 yards receiving, averaged almost 10 yards of reception, with no touchdowns. And in 2024, his second season on grass, technically his third season being an NFL athlete, but again, his second season on grass in 2024, he played in 13 games, started in 3 games, had 37 targets, 24 receptions, 254 receiving yards, averaged just over 10 yards of reception. You could argue almost 11 yards of reception, and had 1 touchdown. Granted, in 2023, he had 7 receptions that accounted for a first down in 2023. And he had 11 receptions in 2024 that accounted for a first down. So John Metchie hasn't really been able to have the most dominant NFL career. Again, he's been through a lot. So I give him a ton of grace for how his career has began. I give him a ton of grace because, he was drafted by the Texans to be a feature guy. But then at that point, guys like Nico Collins began to emerge, and Tank Dell began to emerge. I think they had signed Stephon Diggs in the process as well. So in the midst of him rehabilitating and getting back to NFL form, he kind of got buried on that depth chart behind some pretty talented guys. So again, I give John Metchie III a ton of grace when it comes to how his NFL career went. But if you saw John Metchie in college, if you saw what he did at Alabama, you would know that this guy can ball. You would know that this guy can ball. His first season at Alabama didn't get much playing time. But his second season, the national championship season, his sophomore season, that is, played in 13 games, had 55 catches, 916 receiving yards, averaged almost 17 yards of reception, had 6 receiving touchdowns, averaged 70 yards per game his sophomore season at Alabama. In 2021, at Alabama, his junior season, Metchie played in 13 games, had 96 catches, had over 1,100 receiving yards, averaged almost 12 yards of reception and had 8 receiving touchdowns. So John Metchie has shown an ability to get better, has shown an ability to develop, and he's somebody that can move the chains. He also averaged almost 90 yards a game in 2021 at Alabama. So this guy is a deep threat. This guy can move the chains. This guy has really, really good hands. I mean, if you look up his highlights and you look at the film, you know John Metchie can play. We know John Metchie can play the game. It's just a matter of how much can he affect the game, given his opportunities. So now everything comes full circle. John Metchie is traded from the Texans. And just to give you guys the details on the deal, the Eagles sent tight end Harrison Bryant and a 5th-round pick to the Houston Texans for John Metchie and a 6th-round pick. Now, Harrison Bryant is somebody that played for the Raiders last season. The Eagles signed him in free agency, and they had a lot of tight ends on the roster to begin with. I mean, they had, obviously, Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra, E.J. Jenkins, Kylan Granson, Harrison Bryant. They had a lot of guys on that roster. Right? Let me see here. Nick Muse, Cameron Latu. They had a lot of tight ends, so they could definitely move on from one of them. And it happened to be Harrison Bryant. Granted, Kylan Granson was the tight end that was outside of Grant Calcaterra. Kylan Granson was the one tight end that was showing some promise. He was making some plays in preseason, had a couple catches. But the Eagles losing Harrison Bryant isn't a loss for them, right? So they sent Harrison Bryant over. They sent Harrison Bryant over with a 5th-round pick and got John Metchie back and a 6th-round pick. And the word is that the San Francisco 49ers were trying to make a play for John Metchie III. I'm not exactly sure what the 49ers were offering specifically. I'm not exactly sure what the 49ers were offering. But the word is the Eagles were able to outbid. They were able to outbid the 49ers. So that's a win for the Philadelphia Eagles, and it clearly shows that the Philadelphia Eagles were really trying to get this guy if they were willing to outbid the 49ers. Again, they only gave up a 5th-round pick and a tight end, a depth piece tight end, but I'm curious what the Niners were trying to give up. And the Niners don't have the deepest wide receiver room right now. I mean, they do have the kid Ricky Pearsall. He's pretty good. Survived the gunshot wound. They're in the midst of contract negotiations. I'm not sure how well they're going, but they're also in the midst of contract negotiations with their other wide receiver. I think he's their number 2. Make sure I got his name right here. Juwan Jennings. They're in the midst of contract negotiations with Juwan Jennings. And they've yet to extend him. He's in the final year of a 2-year deal with the 49ers. He's in the final year of a 2-year, $15.4 million deal with the 49ers. So Juwan Jennings is trying to get paid. And Juwan Jennings, to add some context, he was drafted in the 7th round. And in 2024, Juwan Jennings had his best season. In 2024, the Niners were without Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel didn't necessarily have the season that they're used to him having. Hence why they traded Deebo Samuel to the Washington Commanders. So the Niners didn't have Ayuk in 2024. Juwan Jennings got way more burn, way more snaps, way more targets and opportunities, had a career year in receptions, had 77 receptions, 975 receiving yards, and 6 receiving touchdowns. Again, drafted in the 7th round, Juwan Jennings is trying to leverage that production for a decent contract. Now, obviously, he's not going to get nowhere near a $30 million contract, but he's trying to get something that's fair. He's 28 years old, and this may be his last chance to get a contract. So it makes sense for the 49ers to try to target John Metchie III, especially if they can't re-sign Juwan Jennings. Because then you pair Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, right? You still got Brandon Ayuk under contract. That's not a bad receiver room. You moved on from Deebo, and you get younger with Metchie, and you're already young with Pearsall. And if you can't keep Juwan Jennings, that's fine. Metchie is a talented guy with some upside. Brandon Ayuk is still a relatively young guy as well. Brandon Ayuk, let me make sure I got this right here. Brandon Ayuk is 27 years old, so he's a year younger than Juwan Jennings, but still young and in his prime, but coming off of an ACL tear. You have no idea what Brandon Ayuk is going to be. And they also don't know when Brandon Ayuk is going to come back. So they need receivers over there. Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings are their best receivers right now. And Ricky Pearsall in his rookie season, again, Ricky Pearsall is 24 years old, 6'1", 189 pounds. In his rookie season, Ricky Pearsall played in 11 games, had 4 starts, had 46 targets, 31 catches. 400 receiving yards, averaged almost 13 yards of reception, 3 receiving touchdowns, and 19 first down receptions. So, and again, Ricky Pearsall was coming back off of being shot. So I give Ricky Pearsall a ton of grace as well for his rookie season. Ricky Pearsall he's a talented guy. He's a talented dude. But as of right now, the Niners, they don't know when Brandon Ayuk is coming back. You got a young and emerging Ricky Pearsall. You got Juwan Jennings, who's 28 years old, looking to get paid. He's in a contract year. You traded Deebo Samuel. So their receiver depth is a little out of whack right now. I'm looking at the Niners receiver depth right now, and Brandon Ayuk is hurt. Jordan Watkins is hurt. Their only healthy receivers are Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, Demarcus Robinson, Jacob Cowing, Russell Gage Jr., right? They do have Isaiah Hodgins on the roster as well. I mean, in my humble opinion, your only proven guys are Juwan Jennings and partially Ricky Pearsall. They needed some more depth there. They needed another insurance policy, and they couldn't secure the deal with John Metchie. This is where the Eagles come in. The Eagles said, we'll take that. And again, John Metchie's a talented brother. So whatever I say next has nothing to do with his skill set. I want to make that very clear. What I'm about to say next has nothing to do with John Metchie III. I'm confused by this move by the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm not confused because the player isn't a good player. I'm confused because I'm trying to see the angle. I'm trying to see what they're building towards. Now, this wide receiver room is deep now. And we felt like it was deep before the trade. You got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jihaad Dotson, who's currently in the contract year. You already signed A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith through like 2028, 2029, something like that. So they're secure. But Jihaad Dotson, your wide receiver 3, contract year, having a great training camp, had a great offseason. We expect him to have a better year than last year. Had a very solid playoff run with the Eagles. Was very instrumental in their success. His trust with Jalen Hurts has been growing exponentially. Then once you get past Jihaad Dotson, we've seen guys begin to emerge. Draft picks like Johnny Wilson, who's entering year 2. Anaya Smith, also entering year 2. These guys are, I believe, 5th and 6th round picks respectively. And they're both guys who didn't necessarily have the most productive rookie seasons, understandably so. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown's ahead of you, but still, people were questioning Anaya Smith and Johnny Wilson's ceilings. And they've been having very good training camps and very good preseason games at that, right? Johnny Wilson had a very strong preseason debut, showing his improved ability to catch the ball in traffic, especially the 50-50 ball. Anaya Smith has accumulated 2 touchdowns so far in the preseason in the red zone. He's shown himself to be a very solid red zone threat, especially on the quick slant. That quick slant, he's showing a mastery for that route, especially in the red zone. And he's even shown strong ability in punt return. We saw that in the Bengals game, right? And then another person who's emerged, Darius Cooper. Darius Cooper emerged at the receiver position as well. Darius Cooper was undrafted, signed by the Eagles, coming out of Tarleton State. Darius Cooper had a very strong debut against the Bengals, had a very quiet game against the Browns, and we're going to talk about that Browns game a little later. But beyond those top three guys, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, we were all feeling pretty good about we were all feeling pretty good about the receiver depth beyond Jahan Dotson. We were all our confidence was rising when it came to Johnny Wilson. Our confidence was rising as it pertained to Aniyah Smith, and Darius Cooper has stolen our hearts. So then the Eagles trade. Well, in fact, I'll take it a step further. Excuse me, before I get to Metchie. Beyond Darius Cooper, Elijah Cooks was having a strong training camp. Still recovering from a shoulder injury, but Elijah Cooks was having a strong training camp. So he's somebody the Eagles were liking. He was somebody that potentially would challenge Johnny Wilson because of their physique and their play style. But let's just focus on the three guys beyond Dotson. Johnny Wilson, Aniyah Smith, Darius Cooper. Those were the three guys we were really high on at this point. And I was of the mindset that the Eagles would keep 6 receivers on the roster when they cut down to 53. I made a prediction that they're going to keep 6 receivers. Last year, they kept 5. I thought they were good enough to keep 6. So now you bring in John Metchie into the fold. You bring John Metchie into the conversation, and now this gets way more interesting, especially when you got one preseason game left. The season opener is September 4th on Thursday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. How much time will you really have to evaluate Metchie? Again, you traded for him. So I'm assuming you want him on this roster. Former second-round pick. Talented brother when you watch him. The ceiling, it's definitely low risk, high reward. And I'm going to get to all your super chats, you guys. Trust me, I will get to all of those. But I guess I was just a little, I still am. I'm a little intrigued by what Howie Roseman is up to. I'm intrigued. Because, like I said, we didn't think wide receiver depth was something that was the problem. We were all looking at corner, right? And let me add some more sauce to the pot. This marks the second trade Howie Roseman has made since training camp has started. And we all know Howie Roseman is going to be active. Howie Roseman is going to make moves. Howie Roseman will never sit on his hands. Howie Roseman is not Jerry Jones. Howie Roseman is proactive while the opposition is reactive. We playing chess, they playing checkers. We playing tennis, they playing badminton. We playing Monopoly, they playing Candyland. You feel what I'm saying? So it begs the question, what is Howie Roseman planning? What's his vision for this wide receiver room? I don't expect them to keep 7 receivers on this roster. I don't. Especially at the 53-man. I don't. But like I said, this is the second move. This is the second move Howie Roseman has made, the second trade he's made since training camp has started. The first trade included Jacorian Bennett. Howie Roseman traded for Jacorian Bennett, cornerback. And that made sense, right? He traded for cornerback Jacorian Bennett at the beginning of training camp, right before the Bengals game, sending defensive tackle Thomas Booker IV to the Raiders. It was a straight-up trade, player for player, no picks involved. Y'all take Thomas Booker IV, we'll take Jacorian Bennett at corner. And that made sense given the uncertainty and the instability at cornerback 2. We were looking at the cornerback 2 competition saying, Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo, they're not standing out. And it was clear. Vic Fangio was making it very clear that no one has really created distance. No one has really taken the reins of that position. And Howie Roseman said, I got to hedge my bet. So he trades for Quinyon Bennett, somebody who was drafted in the 2023 draft class with Kelee Ringo. As a matter of fact, Quinyon Bennett was drafted a pick ahead of Kelee Ringo. So it begs the question, were the Eagles, or how often or how much have the Eagles looked at Quinyon Bennett? Was he an option on draft day? Did they draft Kelee because Quinyon Bennett got picked and Kelee was the second option at that point? Who knows? We don't know. But for them to trade for a guy that was drafted one pick ahead of the guy they currently have is interesting to me. That's interesting to me. But that trade made sense. That made sense. But the Metchie trade is something that's a little bit of a head scratcher. Just a bit of a head scratcher. I know I've seen some of your comments here. Some of you guys are saying, hey, AJ Brown has been dealing with that tricky hamstring. Howie's trying to make sure his wide receiver depth is top tier. And that's a very good assumption there. That's a very good a premise. I like that premise, right? Devontae has been dealing with a little bit of a tight back throughout training camp. AJ Brown's been dealing with a hamstring. Your top two receivers have been dealing with some ticky-tack injuries in training camp. So what do? You add more depth to that receiver position. You already got Johnny Wilson, Nia Smith, and Darius Cooper on the roster right now. You got Jihaad Dotson. We like him. But can Nia Smith be somebody you can depend on in the regular season? Is his play style, is his size and frame something you can rely on, right? We know he can return. We like him there. Darius Cooper, can his game translate to the regular season when he goes up against better competition, better corners? Johnny Wilson, can his game translate when he's going up against better competition, better corners? Jihaad Dotson has been playing against top-tier competition since he's been in the league. He used to be a number 1 or a number 2 with the Washington Commanders at one point. He was right there he was a number 2, number 3 receiver playing with Terry McLaurin. Put up great numbers with the Commanders. Great number 2 numbers. So we know Jihaad Dotson can play in this league, especially against top-tier competition. John Metchie, he's played the past 2 seasons, played a lot of games with the Texans. We know he can play on that level. The numbers are a little subpar, but I'm giving him grace given his circumstance and being buried on that depth chart behind a Stephon Diggs, a Nico Collins, right, a Tank Dell. But Johnny Wilson and Nia Smith, Darius Cooper, we don't know if they can play against that upper tier competition. So it makes sense when you think about it from the perspective of your top tier guys dealing with ticky-tack injuries to our training camp and the uncertainty of your depth receivers going up against upper tier competition. That premise is interesting. That premise is interesting. So getting Metchie again, low risk, high reward. Low risk, high reward. Let me get to some of your super chats here. If you guys are just joining the live stream, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed, especially if you're new. All right, let's see here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got here. My man Alex, a.k.a. FCB Panda. I think it's funny how sometimes StreamYard is always going back and forth between y'all regular names and y'all handles. It's weird. All right. Let's see here. Alex says, there's a clip of Metchie getting the better of Stingley in practice. Per Ari Alexander. Stingley went to the GM and got him out of there. Alex, that's funny. My man Shep with the $10 super chat. Thank you, Shep. He says, Shalom, Tone. Metchie is definitely a good fit. Not only does he have good hands, but the brother has good blocking skills. Go Birds. Really? Okay. I gotta look into that. I didn't know Metchie was a really good blocker. I know he had good hands, but I didn't know he was a great blocker. Miss Linda, she says, rate the Eagles quarterback, rate the Eagles QB game with the Browns yesterday. Oh, we're gonna get to that, Miss Linda. Don't you worry. We are going to address what we saw in that Browns game yesterday. We're going to talk about it. Don't get, oh, was it Friday? No, it was Saturday. We're going to address that. Don't you worry. We are going to address the elephant in the room because those quarterbacks were. All right. Thank you for your super chat, by the way, Ms. Linda. All right. Trenton Wright, my guy, he says, in Howie we trust. And thank you for the super chat. He says, in Howie we trust until he proves us wrong. This move must be for depth. Maybe AJ is hurt worse than we think. Side note, Dorian Thompson Robinson and McCord suck. DTR and Kyle McCord did not look too good. I mean, the highlight came from McCord throwing that touchdown to Anaya Smith, but these quarterbacks couldn't push the ball down the field. They couldn't move the chains. The offensive line had a hard time holding up, especially the third string guys. We're going to talk more about it later on. Jay Graves, thank you for the super chat. He says either A.J. Brown is more hurt than we think or a package deal is coming soon. I don't know. I mean, I know A.J. Brown's hamstring has been a little funny money throughout training camp, but I think they're just being precautious with him. I think A.J. Brown ultimately will be fine. Granted, he did have that hamstring bother him last season. He missed like 3 games because of it. And he missed the final game of the season because the Eagles wanted to sit him, no problem. But he did miss 3 games because of the hamstring. That's a fact. He missed the Atlanta game, the Saints game, and the Buccaneers game. He basically missed the entire NFC South run. Then the bye week came, and he got healthy. And Devontae, he missed part of that Saints game going down with a concussion. Missed the Bucs game as well. Got the bye week, came back for week 6 against the Browns. But again, Metchie is definitely an insurance policy. We'll see. Thank you for the super chat. All right, my man, Sweet Chin Music. He says, Metchie is a player I've wanted, but was not needed right now. They gave up nothing, so I'm not mad at it. At minimum, good depth. Yeah, they didn't give up much for him. That's why I think it's funny that the narrative is that they were able to outbid. They were able to outbid the 49ers because are the 49ers being that cheap? Are they being that stiff with the wallet? The Eagles only gave up like a 5th, 4th string tight end and a 5th round pick. And they were able to get a 6th round pick back from Metchie. So, I mean, it's weird. I'm really curious what the Niners were trying to. The Niners must have probably offered a pack of Skittles or something. They must have offered a pack of Skittles in the 6th round pick or something. I don't know what they offered, but it is interesting nonetheless. And also, Metchie is definitely a player Eagles fans wanted. I remember, when Metchie's name would come up here and there. Metchie is somebody Eagles fans liked. Alex back again with a super chat. He says, Jordan Schultz after the trade, quote, from AFC GM, don't think the Eagles are done with trades. They have so many picks next year. So could Howie Roseman be gearing up for something? What is he gearing up for? The only logical explanation I can surmise from this move is that he's trying to get a corner. Maybe he's not satisfied with the cornerback depth right now, and I understand that completely. Jacorian Bennett, and we're going to get into that preseason game. Jacorian Bennett is clearly your most effective corner right now, outside of Quinyon and outside of Cooper DeJean? Ringo is too inconsistent. Adoree Jackson is cooked, and Eli Ricks is inconsistent as well. David Turney with the super chat. Thank you, David. Metchie, he says here, and thank you for super chat. He says Metchie is high character who was highly thought of at the draft that underperformed. High upside, worth the roll of the dice. Typical Howie Roseman trade. Yeah, man. Metchie, he's been through a lot in his life, man. He comes from the parents of immigrants. His mom is Taiwanese. His father is Guyanese from Ghana. He was born in Ghana, and he migrated to Ontario, Canada, and went to high school in the United States to play football. So John Metchie comes from parents who've had to endure. They're immigrants, and he's had to work really hard to get to where he is, not only just in college, but in the NFL level, and had to endure illness, injury, and still is enduring to this day. So, you know, Metchie is somebody that's very easy to root for, man. Jay Graves back again with a super chat. He says, I think it's a package deal for a corner coming. Interesting. It's possible, man. Also, don't overlook a move for the edge, right? Don't overlook a move at the edge position as well. You know, Aziz Ojulari had a decent game in that Browns game. We're going to talk about that a little later, but, you know, how do the Eagles feel about their edge depth? If I were them, I would probably make another move for it. Miss Fanny, thank you for the super chat, Miss Fanny. She says here, Metchie stepped up big time for Tank Dell. Check the stats. No, I'm sure, because I think Tank Dell had what? Tank Dell tore his Achilles or tore his ACL, something like that, or broke his leg. Tank Dell had a crazy injury. And Metchie definitely stepped up. My man, Anthony Kroback, shout out to you, my guy. He said, what's good, Tone? I like the Metchie move. Probably signals a move on defense or just more wide receiver depth. I like Jaquarian Bennett, but I feel like we need more depth at corner. Maybe that's the next move. Howie ain't done. Yeah, I don't think he's done either, bro. I don't think he's done either. I'm really curious to know what he's up to. What is he up to? Because the last thing I expected was a trade for a receiver. And also, the last thing that should be happening right now is a Cowboys fan laughing. That's the last thing that should be happening right now. A Cowboys fan shouldn't be laughing at nothing. Y'all looking spooky over there. Y'all looking a little sorry. That running back depth looking a little cooked. That running back depth looking a little cooked, Dallas. Don't make me go through these running back numbers. Don't make me go through these running back stats. I will do it. Matter of fact, why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. Why not? Y'all played Baltimore last night, right? I watched that game. Didn't look too good for y'all. Didn't look too good. Had a hard time moving that rock. Had a hard time, you know, pushing that line. Let me look at some of these stats, man. Y'all better hope Dak don't get hurt because what is his name? John Milton? Joe Milton III and Will Greer? I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. Y'all don't have a Tanner McKee over there. Cooper Rush was cooking y'all. Wasn't that y'all guy? Wasn't that y'all guy? Woo. Wasn't that y'all guy? Anyway, let me look at these running backs. Hey, y'all, let's look at these numbers real quick. I'm going to put them on screen. Ooh, this is pitiful. This is pitiful right here. I'm petty, so let me just get this off, man. I'm petty. Don't pay me no mind, y'all. I'm a little petty. Call me Petty LaBelle. I'm Tom Petty with it. All right. Ravens, Cowboys. Ravens, Cowboys. All right, there we go. Ooh. Woo-wee. Damn, son, where'd you find this? Damn, son, where'd you find this? Woo! Miles Sanders, 7 carries, 15 yards. Deuce Vaughn, 5 carries, 11 yards. Will Greer, 1 carry, 7 yards. Phil Maffa, 3 carries, 7 yards. Joe Milton, 3 carries, 6 yards. Malik Davis, 1 carry, 5 yards. What's going on? Pardon me, y'all. This production is making me parched. It's crazy. All right, let's get this off the screen. Let's get this slop off the screen. All right. Where was I? Right. Super chats. Let's see. Last super chat over here. King the Kid with the super chat. Thank you, King. He says, important detail with Metchie. The Eagles have his rights for this year and next year because he spent a year on the NFI list with cancer. Oh, King, I'm so glad you went here. Because I looked up his contract and I saw that he had 1 year left on the I saw that he was in a contract year, but I didn't know they still had his rights for an additional season because he was on the non-football injury list. I didn't know that. Is that a real thing? I did not know that. Can somebody send me some kind of can somebody point me in the direction where I can find something that substantiates this claim by King the Kid? Is this true? Let me read this again by King the Kid 4. He says, important detail with Metchie. The Eagles have his rights for this year and next year because he spent a year on the non-football injury list with cancer. I got to find out if this is true or not. I got to find out if this is true or not. Oh, King says that makes him a restricted free agent. Basically meaning that the Eagles have the right to match any deal he gets. Ah, King. Ah, that gives the Eagles an opportunity to match any contract he gets. Like I knew he was sick, but I didn't know that bought them another year. And I know Dotson is unrestricted. Dotson may not come back next year. This is interesting. I knew Dotson would be unrestricted. But knowing that Metchie missed the entire year by being sick, the Eagles are yo, Howie Roseman just his brain works. He's diabolical, yo. He is fucking diabolical. His brain works in crazy ways. How do you even think like this? Like, how do you even begin to think like this? How is it even on your mind that this kid is going to be a restricted free agent and you'll have his rights because he was sick in 2022? How do you even have foresight like this? It kind of reminds me of the Isaiah Rodgers move. They made the move for Isaiah Rodgers knowing he was suspended. They kicked the can down the road. He was on ice for his first season under contract with the Eagles. And then the following season, he comes in, plays crucial reps, and we won the Super Bowl. And he was key to that success. How does Howie Roseman's brain think like this? Which King of Agamar, that's a hell of a name. Which King says Howie's a numbers guy, man? He's a numbers guy. You're right about that. He's a numbers guy. Isaiah Rodgers was crucial to that Super Bowl run. Crucial. He came in big time whenever Darius Slay got hurt. Came in when Quinyon Mitchell got hurt in the divisional round game. Came up big time in the divisional round with the fumble recovery. Got us to the goal line. The Eagles were able to kick the field goal and put up more points. Howie Roseman's brain is crazy. All right, let's see here. All right, here we go. I found something. All right. Shout out to you guys, man. You guys are dope, man. Shout out to Alex. Listen, I love my community, y'all. I love y'all so much. Y'all be pointing me to the water, man. I found something. Shout out to my man Alex. Y'all stay pointing me to the water. Let me find something here. All right. This is via Jake Friel. Let's bring this up on screen. All right. You guys stay pointing me to the water. I love my community. I love y'all. This is what we do here, man. You guys aren't just viewers. You guys are like fact checkers. You guys are a part of the story. I love it. All right. So this is via Jake Friel. He says Metchie is also a restricted free agent after this season, since he was non-football injury designated his rookie year due to his cancer diagnosis. Apparently how the rule works, players on the non-football injury list don't accrue a season. So right now, despite being drafted in 2022, he's considered a third-year player instead of a fourth-year player. Wow. So the Eagles have an opportunity to match any contract offer he receives. And because of his production, he may not get a crazy offer in free agency next year. So the Eagles can basically pay him whatever they choose. They have his rights for 2 seasons. This is how you, oh my God, Howie Roseman is a fucking madman. Howie Roseman is a madman. He's a psychopath. So if you lose Dotson in free agency, which is probably true, you still got Metchie's rights. Obviously, you got Johnny Wilson and Nye Smith's rights, and keep an eye on Darius Cooper. Maybe the Eagles find a way to keep him on the practice squad, find a way to keep him on the roster. I don't know. But to have Metchie's rights for this year and next year buys you some time to figure out your wide receiver 3 position, if that's what you want to do. Man. Shout out to Howie Roseman, man. Shout out to Howie Roseman. The Big Ten says, I'm really starting to think Howie has an unhealthy obsession of correcting his past mistakes, and I love it. Howie's different. He's different. He's different. He takes his job very seriously. Meanwhile, you got other GMs, other owners in this league who are playing stingy with the wallet, who don't want to pay their players. Man, this is an interesting place that we're in right now. Yo, did y'all see the Cowboys fans react? I think it's so funny how Cowboys fans always like to say that they live rent-free in our minds. But the moment that Metchie trade went across the board, all they could do was cry. Matter of fact, let's go on Twitter. Let's find some people. And I got some respect for some of these guys too. Let's go on Twitter and try to find some Cowboys fans and see what their thoughts are. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find some word by some Cowboys fans. Let's see. All right. Where they at? Where they at, though? Where them Cowboys fans at? Where are the Cowboys fans? I follow some of y'all. So let me see here. Let's see. Here we go. My man Jay Tuck. Shout out to my man Jay Tuck. I like Jay Tuck, by the way. I like Tuck. Jay Tuck does phenomenal work, by the way, covering the Cowboys. He works. He does ESPN radio in Kansas City. He's an NFL draft analyst as well. He covers Kansas football. I like Jay Tuck. He does great work. CFO Sports host. Look at Jay Tuck. He's a Cowboys guy, by the way. Shout out to Samara with the super chat. Thank you, Samara. I appreciate you. Thank you. Means a lot. Look at Jay Tuck, man. He said, dog, what the fuck is going on? Yo, Tuck, I don't know what's going on, big dog. I don't know, man. I don't know, Tuck. I don't know, Tuck. You tell me. Golden Scholar says Metchie had 250 yards last year. People are overreacting. Listen, first of all, I kind of hate when people do this. I'll be honest. I hate when people do this. It's breaking news. It's interesting. It's the kind of move that makes you wonder what's coming next. Why do people like to just shit on parades? What is this, Golden Scholar? What's going on, man? What's going on? Everything okay at home, Golden? We know Metchie we understand Metchie hasn't had any breakout season, but Metchie also has been through some trying circumstances that has led to his football production being what it is. John Metchie III came off an ACL tear out of college, got diagnosed with cancer, missing his whole rookie season, and because of that, you saw other players emerge like Nico Collins and Tank Dell, and they traded for Stephon Diggs, so he got buried. And again, I'm not trying to act like Metchie is a savior or something. Don't get me wrong. I'm on record saying I'm a little confused by the move. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm overreacting. I'm just acknowledging what the move is and what it potentially may mean. I even acknowledge that the move was a little, got you, Golden. Got you, Golden. So you're talking about the Cowboys fans. Oh, yeah. Cowboys fans are funny. Shout out to my man Jay Tuck, by the way. This is all love, Tuck. I want you to know. It's all love, bro. It's just It's just divisional rivalry fodder. Don't pay me no mind, Tuck. You know I got love for you. Matter of fact, you know I got respect for you. You know what I'm saying? But Cowboys guys definitely are like, what the fuck? Matter of fact, where my man at? CFT. Where's CFT at? Where my man Rome at? Where my man Rome? Here it is. Look at my man Rome here. Hold on, where he at? Shout out to my man Rome from CFT. Cowboys fan talk. He does phenomenal work, man. Rome does phenomenal work. He says the Eagles going to fix the holes in their roster and the Cowboys going to ask our guys to step up. This came on the heels of the Metchie trade. So, you know, Cowboys fans aren't taking this well. They're not taking it well. So to your point, Golden, to your point, Cowboys fans are freaking out a bit. We make them nervous. We make them nervous. And honestly, you know what it is really, y'all? And make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed, especially if you're new. I appreciate the love and I appreciate the support. Y'all want to know what this really is too? We are a mirror to the Cowboys. We are a mirror. And all we do is show them their reflection. Everything we do, everything the Eagles represent, simply is a reminder to them that their organization is lackluster. And if you take away, you know what? Let me not do if you take away. I don't like doing hypotheticals because I don't like when people do it to me. So let me not do that. Let's just talk about the facts. I'm not going to do any hypotheticals. I'm going to focus on the facts. We make Cowboys fans nervous. And again, shout out to my man Cowboys Fan Talk. Shout out to Rome. That's my guy. It's my guy. Shout out to Jay Tuck. Shout out to CFT. Those are my guys. But we make them nervous because we remind them everything the Eagles represent, it reminds them of how mediocre the Cowboys have been in the 21st century. They've been mediocre since 1997. They were them boys in the mid to early 90s. You know, the Tom Landry years and all that kind of stuff, the Roger Staub, the Staubach years, the Troy Aikman, you know, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, they were legit then. But post 97, post 96, they've been mediocre. They've been mediocre. They've been the Jaguars. They've been the Bengals. They shouldn't be relevant, but they are because of the brand. Nonetheless, though, let me take this off the screen here. Once again, shout out to my guys, Cowboys Fan Talk. Shout out to Jay Tuck, man. You know, we remind them that their GM, their owner, is playing around with his food, man. Look at this. Oh, my God, my bad. I got to bring this on my screen. Shout out to my man Rome again, bro. Rome, you are funny, bro. Look at this. Rome funny, man. After the trade, he put Jerry does not care. Yeah, Jerry don't care, all right? Yeah, you're right. Jerry don't care. He on his yacht playing Pacino. He on his yacht playing Tetris. Oh, man. All right. Let's take this off screen. Let's see here. Where are we? All right. So, yeah, man. If you're just joining the live stream, the Philadelphia Eagles traded for Texans wide receiver John Metchie III. The Eagles sent over tight end Harrison Bryant and the 5th round pick to the Houston Texans for John Metchie III and a 6th round pick. In addition, this would mark the second trade Howie Roseman has made since the beginning of training camp. As a reminder, he traded defensive tackle Thomas Booker IV to the Las Vegas Raiders for cornerback Quinyon Bennett amid the lackluster cornerback 2 competition between Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson, right? And I also want to make it very clear that the trade for Metchie is a bit of a head scratcher for me. It is. Given the circumstances of the wide receiver depth now, I thought they were pretty good there, but maybe Howie Roseman is setting up something in the long term. I don't know what he's setting up. I don't know what he's setting up, but he's clearly setting up something. Metchie is 6 feet, 195 pounds, 25 years old, young player. He was on the non-football injury list, so the Eagles have his rights for this season and the following season in 2026. He'll be a restricted free agent in 2026. So whatever offer he receives, the Eagles will have the opportunity to match it. So, yeah, man. We'll see where this deal goes. We'll see. We will see where this goes. Uh-oh, we got a Cowboys fan in our midst. We got a Cowboys fan in our midst, you guys. Let's see. DFW sports fan. That Dallas-Fort Worth brother. All right, let's see here. He says, you are so wrong. You know, let me read it how Cowboys fans read. Let me read it how Cowboys fans talk. You know what I mean? You are so wrong. We are happy you keep adding the wrong resources. You need to be getting better at cornerback and better defensive ends to take triple teams off Jalen Carter. That's how they talk. You're so wrong. Oh my God. He wants to talk about wrong resources. Do I need to remind you what your running back room looks like? Oh my God. Do I need to remind y'all what y'all cornerback room looks like? Trevon Diggs, we don't know if he got any ACL left. We don't know what Trevon Diggs is going to look like. Deron Bland, we don't know what he's going to look like. He trying to get paid coming off of an ACL tear. We don't know what your interior D-line going to look like. We really don't. You want to talk about wrong resources? What's going on with your man Mozzie? What's going on with Mozzie? Mozzie Beats. What's going on? Come on, man. Don't y'all still got to pay Micah? Y'all paid the tight end before y'all paid Micah. What y'all doing? Y'all gave Jake Ferguson a bag before y'all gave Micah Parsons the bag. What are y'all doing? Y'all traded for George Pickens in the contract year, knowing damn well y'all not going to pay him. As if y'all were one wide receiver away. What are we talking about? Y'all got more problems than y'all realize. And you think trading for George Pickens was the answer? Now, granted, is it sexy? Is it exciting? Does the George Pickens trade, make your offense appear to be box office? Yeah, it's cool. You guys are going to put up a lot of passing yards, but you can't stop the run. You can't run the ball. Your cornerback position is compromised because you have no idea what Deron Bland or Trevon Diggs is going to look like when they come back. Your safety position is compromised. You didn't pay Micah yet. Your offensive line is young and unproven. Your Hall of Fame guard just retired. Y'all wasted his career. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Come on, man. In DFW sports fan, I got love for you. I got love for you. I do. You know not what you do. I get it. you know not what you do. Oh, and you got a new head coach. And y'all trying to make him sound cool. Y'all trying to give him a little sauce, calling him shoddy. Y'all hear him, yo? They trying to give him a little sauce. His last name is Schottenheimer. He's been a career assistant coach. He's been a career OC all his life. Let me look at this guy's track record. Hold on. What's his name? Schottenheimer? Brian Schottenheimer? Let me look at this guy's resume real quick. Assistant, wide receiver coach, tight ends coach, quarterbacks coach, offensive coordinator, and quarterbacks coach, offensive coordinator, pass game coordinator, coaching analyst, offensive coordinator. He got his first head coaching job at the age of 51. 51. He's been a career assistant. He ain't had a head coaching job not once. Y'all saw what they tried to do, right? Jerry likes to hire people he can control. That's why McCarthy's not there anymore. Even McCarthy took that job, and he was still relatively controllable. But I'm looking at the Cowboys, and I'm like, hold on. Y'all think y'all slick, trying to add a little sauce. Y'all trying to make Brian Schottenheimer seem like he got more riz than y'all think. He ain't really got it. They've been trying to call him shoddy. What the fuck? Y'all, they've been trying to call him shoddy. That name got some sauce with it. I tell you that, you know what I mean? It's some niggas, it's some guys in the hood named Shoddy. You know what I'm saying? They tried to add some pizzazz to his name. They calling him Shoddy. Yeah, okay. We know what y'all trying to do. Pardon my language, y'all, man. Sometimes I get too excited, and I be thinking I'm talking to, y'all family to me. This is home, so sometimes I get a little too comfortable. So pardon my language, y'all. But they calling him Shoddy. Lord have mercy. If you guys are just joining the stream, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, man. I appreciate it. Dez, one thing with the super chat. He says, wrong resources. 2 Super Bowls in the past 7 years. I feel you on that, bro. They out of pocket. They got this thing all the way messed up, man. The Giants have been a better franchise than you over the past 25 years. Over the past 30 years, they've been a better franchise than you. Man, oh man. If you guys are just joining, man, the Philadelphia Eagles, they traded for John Metchie III, wide receiver from the Texans. They sent Harrison Bryant, tight end, and a 5th-round pick to the Texans for John Metchie III and the 6th-round pick. All right, let's see here. All right, we pretty much kind of beat this topic to a dead horse. Let's transition to what happened in that game yesterday. So, the Philadelphia Eagles, they faced off against the Cleveland Browns in their second preseason game of the season. And, prior to the game, a lot of people were up in arms. Well, more so the Philly media. Not all, but, some people were up in arms about what transpired in the joint practices, right? And my whole position was calm down. It's not that big of a deal, right? So we get to the preseason game, and the Eagles' offense, to put it plainly, was lackluster. They couldn't move the ball. It was like, what? It was like, huh? That game was painful to watch. Painful. That Bengals matchup was way more fun to watch. That Browns matchup was just, oh my goodness. And also, I want to give a shout out to the Browns defensive line depth. The Browns got some talent on defense. I especially on the D line. I would definitely give them that, man. I like their defensive line depth. But yeah, man, let me just give you guys some of my takeaways. Some of my takeaways here. You know, again, the outcome of the game doesn't really matter, but you know, DTR and Kyle McCord were terrible. DTR was awful. Oh my God. But again, they're not quarterback 2. Tanner McKee didn't play. Tanner McKee didn't play. So let's keep that in mind here. So let's get to the key takeaways. Let's start with the positive. Because I mean, well, I kind of already got to the negative, man. But anyway, let's just get back to the positive. So the man who stole the show. The man who stole the show. Well, you know what? Let's just stick with let's get this negative out the way, man. The offense, like my man S. Blunt said, I was disappointed in the offensive line yesterday. I expected way more from guys like Matt Pryor. The offensive line did not have a good day. I don't know what that was about. The offensive line did not have a good day whatsoever. I'm not going to pretend DTR and Kyle McCord had the most time in the pocket. You know, I don't want to pretend like they had the greatest amount of pocket, the greatest pocket in the world. I won't pretend. But my whole thing is, don't just throw the ball and just don't blindly throw the ball. Throw it out of bounds. Throw it down the field. Do something. The offensive line did not do a good enough job helping those quarterbacks. The quarterbacks didn't do a good enough job helping themselves. Kyle McCord's highlight of the day came on a quick slant to Anaya Smith, which was set up by a fumble recovery by Andrew Makuba, and we're going to talk about that. But the Eagles couldn't move the ball past the 50-yard line. They couldn't move the ball. They really couldn't. I think they had less than 100 yards of total offense. Let me double check that. Yeah, the Eagles had less than 100 yards of total offense. And the crazy thing about it is they were still in the game. Those quarterbacks couldn't find receivers to save their life. And I saw receivers open, by the way. I saw receivers open. And they couldn't find them to save their life. So, I mean, look, it is what it is. Offensive line, poor game, poor quarterback play. Yeah. Poor game by Keely Ringo. Poor game by Dory Jackson. Let's get to some takeaways. Let's get to some positivity, man. So, the man who stole the show for the Philadelphia Eagles was Andrew Makuba, the safety out of the University of Texas, by way of Clemson. Andrew Makuba started his college career at Clemson, transferred to Texas for his final season to play up against better competition, and he proved his weight in gold, was drafted in the second round by the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'll tell you this, Andrew Makuba, he had got hurt. In training camp. He missed some key reps, was unable to play in the Bengals game, and that allowed Sidney Brown to gain some steam ahead of him, to get an edge over him in the competition for the starting safety spot. But the moment Andrew Makuba got his opportunity on that football field, my God, Andrew Makuba left the game with a pick six and a fumble recovery. By the way, that pick six, he took that thing like 70+ yards. And I love the way he was able to maneuver through the traffic, and I love the way he took advantage of the mistake by the quarterback and the mistake by the receivers. There's no way you should have two receivers in the same area like that. That was idiotic. And I even saw the receiver for the Browns short arm the catch. All he had to do was stick his arms out there, and maybe he catches it, or maybe the ball is incomplete. He short-armed it. And then why would Dylan Gabriel even throw that ball? Just throw the ball out of bounds. Throw the ball out of bounds. Live to fight another day. Bad decision by the quarterback. Terrible route running by the receivers, and Andrew Makuba took full advantage of the mistake. Snagged the interception, took it 70+ yards to the crib. He showed his playmaking ability. He showed speed. He made a move. He showed good hands. And that all came after he made a mistake. He did get hit for an 18-yard catch. He allowed an 18-yard reception, but bounced back tremendously. With the pick six, got a fumble recovery, setting up another touchdown. Every point the Eagles scored was set up by Andrew Makuba. Andrew Makuba created 13 points for the Philadelphia Eagles. 13 points with his play. He scored a touchdown directly, and his forced fumble set up the Kyle McCord touchdown pass. So I'll tell you this right now. Makuba has stolen the hearts. He's stolen the hearts of the Philadelphia fan base. I could tell. He's stolen y'all hearts, man. He has me smitten. Makuba has already stolen the hearts of Philadelphia. But will it be enough, though? Will it be enough to land the starting safety spot ahead of Sidney Brown? Let me ask you guys a question. Who has the edge right now in the safety competition? Is it still Sidney Brown, or has Andrew Makuba leaped him? Has Andrew Makuba leaped Sidney Brown? Today, I'm asking you guys right now today, who is ahead in the competition, Makuba or Sidney? Put it in the chat, y'all. Put it in the chat. Who do you guys think is ahead in the competition? Is it Makuba or Sidney? All right, let's see here. Let's see what we got. All right. Dagger says Sidney still. Mimi says Makuba. S. Blunt says Makuba is a Fangio guy, and he is ahead after that performance. So S. Blunt says Makuba. Big Ten says playmakers usually get the nod, so Makuba. Big Dog says he was drafted to start over Sidney. I think it's Makuba as well. Artie Carpel. Artie says Makuba all day. Aishan says Makuba. My dad is in the building. Shout out to my dad, Antonio DeShields Sr. That's my dad. He says Makuba. I'm not mad at it, man. You got to go Makuba. Sweet Chin says Sidney Brown had the job but didn't take it. Drew just took it. Ooh, Sweet Chin. I like that angle you took just now. He said Sidney had the job, but he didn't take it. Andrew Makuba just took it. I like that. Green Weeman says Makuba. And he's a second-round pick. Ramon says Sid. Wow. ADW The Beat says Kuba. Donald Roan says Makuba. EH37 says Sidney's within tack. Harrison Barnes says I'm rocking with Sidney Brown. Wow. We still got some Sidney Brown guys here. I ain't mad at it, though. I ain't mad at it. Remote says Makuba. Kev Talking Bird says Sidney Brown hasn't done enough or hasn't done anything since that 90-yard interception. Let's go, Makuba. So Kev says Makuba. Okay. What's up, Kev? Hope you're doing well, my guy. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, my guy. Good to see you. All right. Fanny says Sydney stays at gunner. Well, he's very good on special teams. Ramon says Sydney returned a 99-yard interception. He did, for sure. He did. Don't get it. He did. But I ain't gonna lie, Makuba's looked better, though. I'm sorry. Sydney caught an overthrown ball. That was basically like a punt return. Like, I'm not trying to take nothing away from Sydney Brown's 99-yard pick six. I'm not trying to take nothing away from him. But that Makuba one looked better because the way Makuba was maneuvering through the traffic and the way he just snatched it and took it 70+ yards. That's impressive. That Makuba one looked better to me. EH says Makuba all day. Can't be missing tackles. Harrison Barnes says Makuba does look like a better scheme fit. Brandon Cole says Makuba for sure. Alex says Makuba plays close to the line of scrimmage like CJ did. Listen, man, Makuba, he's fearless. The way he shot in there and got that fumble recovery, I don't think he's afraid of anything. He threw his body into the ball and snagged it. I don't know how he got it. I swear to God, I'm watching the game and I'm saying to myself, how did Makuba get this ball? See ball, get ball. I have no idea how he got that ball. I thought the guy recovered it. Nina Austin says Makuba. Yeah, man. I gotta go Makuba as well, man. I gotta go Makuba as well. I just think Makuba is just, I don't gonna lie. He just looked like he knows what he's doing out there. He looked like he knows what he's doing. He looked like he knows what he's doing in coverage. He looked like he knows how to read the quarterback's eyes. Yeah, man. I got to give the edge to Makuba. My man B Moore, he says, Tone, you're asking the wrong question. The question is, who knows the defense and who does Vic trust to be where they should be? If we're asking that question, then I got to go Makuba. Because Vic Fangio has been very, very clear about Sydney Brown. He says he's getting better, but he always specifies that he's still picking up the defense, or he has to slow down, whatever it is. Makuba, he just seems to understand the flow. Samuel Shepard says, does the Metchie trade give you concern about AJ's hamstring? Somebody brought that up earlier, right? Me personally, it doesn't give me concern about AJ's hamstring. It doesn't. Just my opinion. I'm not that concerned about AJ's hamstring right now. Not yet. Not yet. B Moore says agreed. I like Makuba. He has instincts and the hammer. Yeah, he could definitely tackle for sure. All right. So yeah, Makuba had a great game. Let's move on to another observation I have. If you guys are just joining the live stream, make sure you guys smash that like button. If you guys are new to the show, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I am your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys are tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we either got to charge it to the game. You can not only watch this content on YouTube, you can also check us out on Apple Podcasts, check us out on Spotify as well. Also, make sure you guys lock in with me on TikTok and Instagram at chalkitup_sports. Make sure you guys lock in with that. All right. So moving on to my other observations from the game. I would argue Jacorian Bennett has the edge right now. I would argue Jacorian Bennett has the edge. And look, it may not be saying much. It may not be saying much. But Jacorian Bennett has the edge. Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson have not done anything to make me give them more confidence than Jacorian Bennett. Jacorian Bennett played in one game, and he showed me better stuff on film than Keely Ringo showed me this preseason. Like, Jacorian Bennett has shown me way more. Jacorian Bennett has encouraged me way more than Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson combined. And I'm being totally honest about that. Jacorian Bennett finished the game with 1 pass breakup, 3 total tackles, and 1 solo. That pass breakup he had was a beauty. He showed quick feet, great recovery speed, active hands, and an ability to stay in the hip pocket of his assignment. Now, granted, he had moments in the game where he was a little handsy. He was a little, and again, this was his first game with the Eagles, by the way, his first game. So, yeah, I mean, he was a little handsy in that game. He was a little handsy. But he didn't get called for any defensive pass interference. He didn't get called for any defensive holding. So whatever he was doing, the refs felt like it was within bounds. They felt like he was within his right. But there is some tape that showed he was a little handsy. But he didn't get called for DPI, so I'm not going to hold it against him. He had a phenomenal pass breakup. Yeah, he showed great feet and quick hips, quick ability to change direction, to stay with his man. Showed an ability to make a play on the ball. Just saying, man. Keely Ringo hasn't shown that. He just hasn't. Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo did not show enough to make me feel otherwise about their circumstances. Now, Jacorian Bennett, he did go down. He did go down with the injury in that game. But the word is that he had his helmet back on. He ended up going back into the game, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think there's any reason to be concerned about the Jacorian Bennett injury. I think he probably got the wind knocked out of him, or maybe had a little stinger, whatever it may be. Who knows? But the word is that he's going to be okay. Okay, yeah, Big Dog 5. He did play. I knew I saw him. He probably got the wind knocked out of him, right? My man B Moore with the $2 super chat. Thank you, B Moore. I appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you, man. Schoolboy says the only thing holding Jacorian Bennett back is learning Vic's system. That's it. And I think he's going to figure that out. Big Dog 5 says it looked like a stinger. He tried to punch the ball out. Yeah, it looked like he got popped, though. Like, it looked like he ran into his teammate when they were trying to attack the ball carrier, right? It probably was a stinger. You know what I mean? Either a stinger or he got the wind knocked out of him. But nonetheless, I think he's fine. Like you said, he did play again after that. Donald Rome says DC get a mysterious injury to keep him this year. He will not hit the practice. Or Darius Cooper. He says Darius Cooper gets a mysterious injury to keep him this year. He will not hit the practice squad or waivers. I think the Eagles, they got to find a way to keep Darius Cooper. And look, man, another reason I'm pissed off about that game, those quarterbacks didn't give none of those receivers a chance. They didn't give Johnny Wilson a shot. They didn't give Darius Cooper. Darius Cooper had like 1 target. He had 1 stinking target. Let me make sure I got that right here. Darius Cooper had 1 stinking target. What can Darius Cooper do with a target? It's ridiculous. As a matter of fact, Johnny Wilson, did he even play in this game? Because he ain't got no targets, and I don't think Johnny Wilson played in this game. Yeah, I don't think Johnny Wilson played in this game. Like at least Anaya Smith got a touchdown, right? At least Anaya Smith showing an ability to get in the red zone, get in the end zone, right? But damn, they didn't give my man Darius Cooper no shine. Yeah, that's what it was. You saw Johnny Wilson early, and then all of a sudden he was gone. So that means Johnny Wilson is making his roster. Johnny Wilson is definitely making his roster. That's guaranteed. They kept Anias out there, so we'll see about him. I think he makes the roster. I mean, he's been productive. You got to find a way to keep Darius Cooper. I'm sorry, you got to find a way. I don't care what you do. You got to find a way to keep Darius Cooper. I like that kid. I like that kid a lot. All right, let's keep this thing going, man. Again, Jaquorian Bennett, he has the edge, man. I feel way more comfortable with Jaquorian Bennett. Matter of fact, I need to see snap counts. I need to see snap counts from that game. All right, let's see here. Where are the snap counts? Let's see here. I need to see how many snaps he played in that game. Oh, here it is. No, it's Super Bowl. No. I don't know. I can't find it, man. I can't find it. All right, here it is. I got it. I found it. Shout out to Andrew DeCecco, man. Shout out to Andrew DeCecco. For real. I got it. I found it, y'all. All right, let me see something real quick. I got a super chat here. Alex with the super chat says, I think the Metchie trade affects Anias the most. Interesting. Shout out to Andrew DeCecco. Got him right here. All right. Let's see. Let's bring this on screen. All right. Thank you for the super chat, Alex. All right. All right, this is offense. Offensive snap counts. All right. Where's Darius Cooper? Here it is. Okay. Okay, so Darius Cooper had the fourth highest snap count. So Darius Cooper had 32 offensive snaps. Terrace Marshall had 33. All right, yeah. So let's see. Johnny Wilson only had 8 snaps. So yeah, Johnny Wilson's making the roster for sure. AJ Dillon has 6 snaps. Anaya Smith had 18 snaps. So I think Anias probably gonna make the roster too. But Darius Cooper. Okay. You know what I think? You know what I think, you guys? If they keep 6 receivers, ooh, this is tough. I don't know, man. I don't know. Because the fact that they had Darius Cooper and Terrace Marshall out there the most means that they're trying to see who stands out between those two guys. They had Cooper and Terrace Marshall out there the most. They're trying to find out who's gonna. So far, I think Cooper has the edge on Terrace Marshall because of that first game. That's what I think. Elijah Cooks has been dealing with a shoulder injury. Yeah, man. If the Eagles only pick if the Eagles only keep 6 wide receivers, I mean, you traded for John Metchie. Honestly, the Eagles' 6 receivers may be. Man, how did they get Darius Cooper through waivers, though? How are they going to get him through waivers? Because I feel like somebody's going to take a shot on him. I feel like somebody's going to take a shot on Darius Cooper if you let him hit waivers. They got to find a way to keep Cooper on this roster. And I don't think he'll last on the practice squad either. Somebody's going to make a play for him. Somebody is going to make a play for Darius Cooper if he hits waivers or if he goes in that practice squad. They got to find a way to make up some injury or something. They got to come up with a phantom injury. They got to do something. Damn, I like that kid. Trading for Metchie and obviously Anaya Smith and Johnny Wilson make the roster. That's 6 receivers right there. I don't think Cooper. Damn, that's crazy. Cooper, what are they going to do? If I was the Eagles, honestly, I would only keep 2 quarterbacks, and then I'll pick up one of those guys through waivers because Kyle McCord and DTR are going to make it through waivers. If I'm the Eagles, I keep 2 quarterbacks on my 53, and then I'll re-sign McCord or whatever, or I'll re-sign DTR, whatever you got to do. Let me go to the defense snap counts. All right, let's see here. Quinyon Bennett played 35 snaps. Matt McWilliams played 35 snaps. Keely Ringo played 30 snaps. Ty Robinson and Byron Young played 37 and 36 snaps, respectively. Jeremiah Trotter played 34 snaps. Jihaad Campbell played 28 snaps. Makuba played 28 snaps. Aziz Ojolari played 27 snaps. Smile Mondon played 33 snaps. This is going to be interesting, man. All right. Let's move on to my other takeaways and observations here. We've talked about Quinyon Bennett. We talked about, the safety position. We talked about Andrew Makuba and the safety position and the corners. I want to talk about linebacker now. Jihaad Campbell and this linebacker room are legit. We got to talk about that linebacker room, man. Who would have thought the linebacker position would be one of the best groups on this team? Jihaad Campbell had a phenomenal game. Jihaad Campbell, if I'm not mistaken, Jihaad Campbell had a sack on the second play of the game. Jihaad Campbell and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. were phenomenal. Smile Mondon was phenomenal. Like, those linebackers are playing crazy right now. They are playing out of their minds. Jihaad Campbell, the way he shot through that, was the A gap? He came through the A gap, right? Or was the B? I think he came through the A gap. Ryo says, does Trotter Jr. get cut? Hell no. What? Are you crazy? Ryo. Where's it, Ryo? Let me see. Ryo, why would Trotter Jr. get cut? Are you serious? Are you serious? Come on, man. Stop playing. Yeah, he's like the way Jihaad Campbell shot through the A gap. That shit was his timing, his anticipation, the quickness, the power. Bruh, Jihaad Campbell is a player. Jihaad Campbell ended up finishing the game with 4 total tackles, 3 solo, and 1 sack. And that sack also counts as a tackle for loss. So that's on the resume as well. Like I said, he showed speed, power, quickness, anticipation. Showed play recognition. Trotter Jr. had a really good game as well. He finished with 7 total tackles, 3 solo. Smile Mondon had one of my favorite plays of the game right now. One of my favorite plays of the game. Smile Mondon finished the game with 5 total tackles. They were all solo tackles, and he had a TFL. His best play of the game came when he sniffed out a screen pass to the running back and was able to get off his block in traffic. He got off his block so quick. He killed the play before it even started. He killed the play and he was able to beat out those blockers and still got through the traffic to make the play. Smile Mondon had a way better game than he did against the Bengals. It shows growth. It shows his ability to watch the film and learn. Like, he was clean. Smile Mondon, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Jihaad Campbell, they played very, very clean games. Very clean games. I'm going to give you guys my top 5 plays of the game. Number 1, Andrew Makuba's pick 6. Number 2, Smile Mondon's ability to sniff out the screen pass in traffic by himself. That play had potential to go 15, 20 plus yards. He managed to sniff out the play, got through the traffic, got off his block. It was like 2 or 3 blockers in his way. He got through the traffic. That was my second favorite play of the game. My third favorite play of the game was the Jihaad Campbell sack. My fourth favorite play of the game, Andrew Makuba's fumble recovery. My fifth favorite play of the game, Jacorian Bennett's pass breakup. And I got to show love to Azeez Ojulari. Azeez Ojulari had a sack in the game as well. Azeez finished the game. Where is it at here? Azeez Ojulari finished the game with 3 total tackles, 2 solo, and 1 sack. So Azeez showed tremendous bend, showed great bend as well, man. And by the way, I know I'm not tripping, but I don't think Josh Uche played in this game. Oh, yeah. Uche making the roster. He didn't play in this game. Yeah. Uche's making the roster. Oh, he played. Okay, I lied. He played 20. He played 20 reps. He had 20 snaps. Okay. All right. I take that back. He had 20 snaps. A lot. So Uche played 20. He had 20 snaps. And Azeez Ojulari he had 27 snaps. So I don't know. I think at this point, Azeez Ojulari and Uche make the roster for sure. Let me see here. Uche finished the game with 2 tackles and 2 solo tackles. Uche didn't have a sack in this game. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah. Uche didn't have a sack in that game. And Antoine Power Ryland only played 11 snaps, which is crazy. The Johnson Lifestyle. Shout out to my man, The Johnson Lifestyle. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He said, hindsight, they should have just traded CJ for Metchie. Oh, man, that's funny. It's easy to say that. But sometimes timing and situations change things. So that's a funny observation, bro. That is a funny observation. But yeah, Antoine Power Ryland only played 11 snaps. So he's probably going to be a practice squad guy, honestly. You know what? We may see a lot of Antoine Power Ryland in that third preseason game. The third preseason game is going to tell us a lot about who's making this roster, who's not. It's also going to tell us a lot about who's making the practice squad, too. All right, let's see where we are here. Let's see. Do I have any other takeaways from that game? Not really. Again, shout out to Jihaad Campbell. Shout out to Jacorian Bennett. Shout out to Andrew Makuba. Shout out to Azeez Ojulari, Smile Mondon, Trotter Jr. You know what I'm saying? They had really good games. They had really, really, really good games, man. I think Adoree Jackson's getting cut, y'all. I think Adoree Jackson's getting cut. Mark Flagos Fly says Metchie is a move to help have quality wide receivers in case AJ and or Slim Reaper are injured. Eagles' record without AJ is not great. You got Smitty, Dotson, Metchie, Wilson, and Dallas. Not bad. It's not bad at all, actually. It's not bad at all. It's not bad at all, man. Now, obviously, Metchie has to get some reps with Jalen. You know, he has to get some reps with Tanner McKee. So we'll see how that goes. But Adoree Jackson's getting cut, bro. Because Keely Ringo's going to make the roster off the strength of his special team prowess. He's going to make so. Here are your corners, man. Like Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jacorian Bennett, Keely Ringo, Eli Ricks. Adoree Jackson's not making his roster. I think Eli Ricks got a better chance of making the roster than Adoree Jackson does. As far as safeties go, I think they bring up 4. Reed, Blankenship, Andrew Makuba, Sidney Brown. They're probably going to keep Tristan McCullum. I'm being honest. Oh, my God, yeah. Tristan McCullum did not have a good game. Tristan McCullum was – Thrash was cooking them. Oh, my God. Thrash. Oh, and Mac McWilliams. I forgot about Mac McWilliams. Sorry. And Mac McWilliams. Mac McWilliams makes the roster, too. Let me look at my 53-man roster prediction. Yeah, so for my 53-man roster prediction, I got them keeping Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jacorian Bennett, Keely Ringo, Matt McWilliams, and Eli Ricks. At safety, I got them keeping Reed, Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Andrew Makuba, and Tristan McCullum. As a matter of fact, let me go through this real quick. I mean, obviously, the Metchie trade changes things. The Metchie trade changes things, honestly. Let me tell you what I would do. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I would do. Okay, so let me put an asterisk here and put an asterisk here. Let me see. So, boom, add Metchie to that. All right. So I'm going to show you guys my updated roster prediction. I just tweaked it a bit. I just tweaked it. All right. Let me see. All right. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to bring this on screen. All right. All right. Let me zoom in. All right. All right. Here is my 53-man roster prediction, y'all. I updated it. So here we go. And look, this is what I think they should do, by the way. This is what I think they should do. I think they should go in with 2 quarterbacks because I think you can get Kyle McCord and DTR through waivers if you want. That's what I think. I think you can get both of those dudes through waivers because they are not getting picked up anywhere the way they played. So Jalen Hurts and Tanner McKee at quarterback. That's what I think. They keep 2 quarterbacks. At running back, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Dillon, and Will Shipley. At wide receiver, this may be this. Yo, listen. I know 7 wide receivers is crazy. 7 wide receivers is crazy. I understand this. I know. But I can't see a world where the Eagles keep DTR and Kyle McCord on this roster. They can get them through waivers. I know 7 receivers is crazy. I know. But I need Darius Cooper on this roster. I'm doing anything possible to keep Darius Cooper on this damn roster. Even if it looked crazy now, Darius Cooper is making this roster some way. He is not going to make it to waivers. He is not going to be on the practice squad. Somebody's going to take him. A bad team is going to give him a shot. A desperate team will give him a shot. I'm telling you this. I feel it in my spirit. A bad team or a desperate team is going to make a play for Darius Cooper. All right, moving on. I got the Eagles keeping 2 tight ends, Dallas Goedert and Grant Calcaterra. They can figure it out after that. Offensive line. I got 10 offensive linemen. I got Lane Johnson, Tyler Steen, Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, Kendall Lamb, Drew Kendall, Matt Pryor, Trevor Keegan, and Darian Kennard. That's what I think. Ooh, I got to fix this. I got to fix this because I made this before the injury. I got to 10 at the Brett Toff. My bad, y'all. All right. So I took off Darian Kennard and I replaced it for Brett Toff. There it is. My bad. I had to fix that. I made this prior to the injury of Landon Dickerson. So all right. FC Alex says, Howie said on the Bussin' with the Boys pod, his biggest nightmare would be to cut the wrong guy. Oh, of course. Of course. I agree with you 100% with that, Alex. S. Blunt says, why Keegan? I think they like Keegan. I think they like Keegan. Shoot, I like Keegan. I like Keegan. He was a phenomenal guard at Michigan. He didn't get any reps last year. I think the Eagles like him. And he's also shown the ability to play center. I think they've tried him at center as well in training camp. So he gives them interior versatility. That's what I think. And plus, I like Trevor Keegan personally. All right, let's move on here. Defensive tackle. I got them keeping 6. I got them keeping Carter, Davis, Ojomo, Ty Robinson, Gabe Hall, and Byron Young. I got them keeping 6 D tackles. I got them keeping I got them keeping 6 edge rushers. Those 6 edge rushers are Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Josh Uche, Aziz Ojulari, Patrick Johnson, Antoine Power Island. Mark says they will keep 3 tight ends for blocking help in depth due to the Dallas got an injury history. No, they're not going to keep 3. What's going to happen is they can get all those guys. You got to think about it like this, Mark. You want to keep your most valuable players because you can get certain guys through waivers. You can get those other tight ends through waivers. You can get Kylan Granson through waivers. You can get EJ Jenkins through waivers. You can get a Cameron Latu through waivers. You feel what I'm saying, Mark? Like last year they kept 2 tight ends because they got all those guys through waivers. I promise you this. They're not going to keep 3. They're not going to keep 3 tight ends. They're going to be able to get all those guys through waivers. I promise you that. All right. Inside linebacker, I got them keeping Zack, Baun, Jihaad, Campbell, Trotter Jr., and Smile Mondon. Corner, I got Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jacorian Bennett, Keely Ringo, Matt McWilliams, and Eli Ricks. Safety, I got Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Andrew McCuba, and Tristan McCullum. And obviously special teams, Jake Elliott, Braden Mann, and Charlie Hewlett. And Nakobe Dean is on the PUP list. He's on IR, so he won't count against the roster. I forgot BVS again. Damn. All right, Luther Winfield. Damn. Okay, I got to fix this. All right. Okay. Maybe y'all can help me then. Who are we taking off to get BVS on this roster? Who we taking off? Because I forgot him again. Yo. Oh, my God. 1980. K, your bus says, I knew it. Alex says, take off McCullum. Samuel says, take off an edge rusher. S. Blunt says 3 safeties. DeJean can play safety. Good angle, S. Blunt. That's a good angle. You may be onto something. That may be the angle. You might be right, though, honestly. Yeah. I think he's right. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take off one of these safeties. I'm going to take off Tristan McCullum. And I'm going to put all right, here we go. Ben Van Sumeren. Did I spell that right? All right. Fixed it. Yo, one thing about us, yo, we love us some Ben Van Sumeren, yo. Let me see here. Oh, Ben. Okay. I fixed that. All right, Ben Van. Sumerman. There we go. We love us some Ben Van Sumeren, y'all. It's only one M. It's one M. I'm looking at it right now. It's one M. All right. All right. Let's go through this again. So, 2 quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts and Tanner McKee. 3 running backs, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Dillon, and Will Shipley. A fullback, Ben Van Sumeren. 7 wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jihaad Dotson, Johnny Wilson, Darius Cooper, and Anaya Smith, and John Metchie. 2 tight ends, Dallas Goedert and Grant Calcaterra. 10 offensive linemen, Lane Johnson, Tyler Steen, Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, Kendall Lamb, Drew Kendall, Matt Pryor, Trevor Keegan, Brett Toth. 6 defensive tackles, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo, Ty Robinson, Gabe Hall, Byron Young. 6 edge rushers, Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Josh Uche, Aziz Ojolari, Patrick Johnson, Antoine Powell-Ryland. 4 inside linebackers, Zack Baun, Jihaad Campbell, Trotter Jr., and Smile Mondon. 6 corners, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jacorian Bennett, Keely Ringo, Matt McWilliams, and Eli Ricks. 3 safeties, Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Andrew Makuba. 3 special teamers, Jake Elliott, Braden Mann, and Charlie Hewlett, your long snapper. And N'Kobe Dean is on IR, so he won't count against your roster. All right. All right. There you have it. There you have it. All right, you guys. Where are we in the show? We've been live for, I haven't done a 2-hour stream in a while. All right, let's smash this. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. You guys have been really, really great. Flawless AKA says 7 wide receivers for a running team is crazy. Oh, man. Listen, the Eagles have been running a lot of 11 personnel in training camp. They've been running a lot of 11 personnel for training camp. As a blunt, you funny talking about welcome back. Man, one thing I'll say this before I go, man. This John Metchie trade, I have no idea. I have no idea what Howie Roseman is planning. I have no idea what Howie Roseman is up to. But this John Metchie trade is interesting. And I'm just curious to know what Howie has up his sleeve. What does Mr. Roseman have up his sleeve? That's the question. And we're going to find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys have been locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge us to the game.